One question, an amazing lineup of CEOs, founders, and experts. This is Marketing for the Now.
Super excited.
Can you hear me? To 50th.
Thank you so much.
That made me feel
Thanks for having me.
I love how both realize if you're back.
So glad to be
You really
Marketing for now.
Thank you. Before we get into it with you, Sarah, I just want to give a huge shout out to the community that's been super active during this episode. Easy, the Kid CG, Kathy S, Danny Sanderson, Maddie Huggins, who's a Vayner, family member, is in there. But just really keep it going. You're dictating some of my questions. Thank you for being a part of this, Denise, Tyler, and more. Sarah, I think for a lot of people, Chinese laundry could be something that might be new for their radar. So why don't we start for a minute? I'll give you the floor and tell everybody what that is, and then we'll go into our Q&A.
Yeah, so Chinese Laundry is a leader in the footwear industry. A dress shoe company is how it started, and now we are moving into casuals. We actually have 4 labels in total in our fashion house. Chinese Laundry is the one that people know the most. We also have Dirty Laundry, CL by Laundry, and 42 Gold that, interestingly enough, hit 4 different demographics. So I get both the honor and challenge of building 4 communities for 4 different types of audiences.
Actually, let's go into that. To your point, you've got a portfolio, 4 different communities, 4 different products. But I assume, and I'm sure you're going to agree with this, what the real challenge / opportunity in 2023 is, even within those 4 different brands, there's probably 20 to 30 meaningful communities from a psychographic, demographic, financial, gender, race, interest graph. Talk to me about the matrix of that. And then I have a really interesting question about portfolio management that I think can help a lot of brand holding companies out here. But to that point, do you see it as 4 different communities, or am I right, or am I wrong in that even within the brands, like Dirty Laundry may have 6, 7, 8, 12 meaningful communities that you want to go after?
Yeah, there are. I mean, the audience is so vast, and we have so many different SKUs and styles of footwear that will allow our audience to express themselves every step of the way. And so, yeah, we're targeting, for CL by Laundry, looking at like moms, flight attendants, interior designers. It's a comfort shoe that comes in wide. So it really is a shoe that you can wear at the beginning of your day when you're packing lunches, all the way through your day at your job at the bank, to picking up the kids, to coming back, to then going on date night with your husband. They're really like a shoe for life, if you will. But in that, there's so many different demographics, especially all throughout the country and the world, of where these shoes would be applicable because they're good for work or good for play. Dirty Laundry is kind of this like edgier, was intended to be a juniors line, but we really see it kind of spanning the demographics and skewing older as well into people that just want kind of more of that like grunge kind of feel that's a little bit edgier. And that brand in general, we're really leaning into. We just did a whole heritage campaign that explores shoes throughout the ages and the moments. Yeah, the moments.
I was doing that really for Josh Martinez. He just said, I do 10 push-ups every time Gary does air quotes. So I just really want him to do 500 of them. So I'll just be doing this while you're talking. And then I would actually, while we have this little book, TCG Bulk Kings has a credible question. How does one pick out the different cohorts for marketing purposes? I'm having a hard time figuring out how to understand and select those ideal personas. That's an interesting one for you, especially given your portfolio. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's challenging. I think that there's no perfect cohort that you can pick out, and it's kind of like throwing spaghetti on the wall. Like for the example with CL by Laundry, right? I'm like, okay, where could these shoes be applicable? What moments does this make sense in? And then what's the profile of that person? And then how can it be replicated to hit different audience and different cohorts? And then we look at, Chinese Laundry. It's been a brand for 40 years, right? So I'm not just targeting a younger demographic.
40 years.
40 years. Yeah, I feel like he needs to do 40 push-ups.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
that
Got
one.
it. One, two, three, four. Go ahead.
Just celebration. Chinese laundry's, been around for 40 years. So there's people that are still wearing their shoes, that they were their first pair of heels. And now they only buy Chinese laundry. They've been buying Chinese laundry for the last 40 years. And now they're getting their daughters and granddaughters into it. So that when it comes to picking out cohorts, right, it's a very, very wide, a wide swath of people and customers. And so then, to piggyback on what Winnie was saying, it really is like meeting your customer where they are and creating meaningful content that they identify with, regardless of age and socioeconomic status. And so kind of what we're doing at Sells Brands, which is our parent company, is leaning into like the moments, right? The moments that you have, that you need to have shoes on your feet for, and the feeling that you get, right? Like the nostalgia of a first kiss at prom in your like sparkly heels, and like how special is it that your mom also wore Chinese laundry to prom? And what a beautiful moment you then get to have with your mom to go buy your first pair of heels. And so building community around that. And, I've been with the company for a year. And so I was really brought in to come in and revitalize and bring fresh life and a fresh perspective.
To that point, because I've been a fan of the Holding Co. and have looked at, I believe that organic social right now is the most misunderstood opportunity in all of marketing because of the TikTokification of all of marketing. And now organic reach, for the first time ever, relevance is now creating consumed reach, which is a profound marketing, understanding. What you've been brought in, how big do you see the opportunity of organic social at scale across the 7 or so platforms that are most relevant of consumer attention as a meaningful strategy compared to, let's say, 5 years ago?
I mean, I think that organic, right, with the whole shift with paid, it's like you can't take those performance dollars and guarantee that it's going to turn into an ROI that makes sense.
Well, to your point, you're referring to, just to help everybody, the iOS 14.5 update, which trackability in that CAC and LTV for people that sell direct to consumer, it got a lot harder, and the creative is now a much bigger variable for success.
Yeah, 100%. And so, for us, and I think for any company that's trying to gain traction and grow, like I'm growing 3 of our 4 labels didn't have social platforms when I started. So I'm in the process of growing them from scratch. Like we just separated and gave them all their own website. So I'm getting to go in and really almost treat some of these brands like a brand new label and really build the direct to consumer narrative around them and the community. And I think it really goes back to that, like meeting people where they are, like giving them what they want. And I think that organic is of paramount importance because it's what people are paying more attention to, right? There's been so many ads, there's so much noise.
What about the consumer insights? I think for us, the reason I think we're the leader in social marketing is it's not just we understand the platforms and the culture, we call that PAC. It's not only, like Tyler said, we call it SOC, strategic organic content, not Happy Tuesday or it's May 9th or yay. But it's the consumer insights that we're able to extract out of very smart creative that meets those cohorts. Has that been a part of the thinking or an opportunity that you see?
Yeah, I mean, I love to dig into the data. I think it's really important to see like what's getting the clicks, what people want. I mean, I'm seeing that our less polished content right on TikTok, it gets higher engagement, whether that's just us at the office, goofing off and talking shoes and doing something silly. Oftentimes is better than like a well-produced, video. And of course we need those fashion videos on our website and in other places. But when we're trying to get organic shares and we're, trying to go viral on different platforms, it really is that like very relatable content 100%. Where people can see themselves in those shoes and it feels like something that they can obtain.
Sarah, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.